Welcome everybody, we are into the round of 16 at the Leagues Cup, and the round of 32 was all about PKs. Of the 16 games, 7 went into PKs, so even if you would bet the draw just blindly and you went 7-9, you'd still be sitting pretty. Now unders bets, they went 9-7, and bets on both teams to score also went 9-7. Now, overall, we saw a much tighter knockout round compared to the group stage, which I suppose can be expected. It was a good round for the MLS against Liga MX when you consider 11 of the final 16 teams still standing in the round of 16 all come from MLS. And it was an okay round for us, going just 2-2. It started off poorly, but we came back with 2 wins in the end and even hit a plus 130 parlay, so maybe slightly above in the profit. Now before the picks, if you're liking the Leagues Cup coverage, be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more soccer picks all summer long. We get started on Sunday in the round of 16, but it is just one game, but it is a pretty big game. It's FC Dallas and Leo Messi once again, and Inter Miami. The good times keep rolling for Messi and friends in Miami, with Alba joining the party now versus Orlando. He came on as a sub Wednesday, and even a flooded field and a weather delay wasn't enough to keep them down. Messi scored 2 more goals, and Miami won 3-1. This was after the Herons beat Atlanta 4-0 and Cruz Azul 2-1 in the group stage. Messi now has 5 goals and 2 assists in 3 games. Now, Dallas drew 2-2 with Charlotte in the group stage before falling 4-1 in PKs. They then beat Liga MX side Necaxa 3-0, though they were aided by a Necaxa red card in the 11th minute in that one. In the round of 32, they defeated Mexican side Mazatlan 2-1. Dallas are 8th in the West in the MLS. They're 8-6-9, and they're 6-2-3 at home. Miami are 15th in the East at 5-3-14, and they're only 1-1-9 on the road. But this is a different Miami team in this tournament, obviously with all the new players. But this Dallas team is also finding more scoring lately as well than they usually do in MLS. Jesus Ferreira has 10 goals, and the next closest player only has 3 in their league play. But in the Leagues Cup, of their 7 goals, Ferreira only has 1. Now, there's little reason, though, I think, to bet against Miami right now, other than the fact that we haven't seen Messi and friends on the road yet, and we haven't seen them in the heat in Dallas, Texas. But I still think they should probably just win this game. They're priced at even money right now to do so, but to play it super safe, we'll just ask Miami to score for leg 1 of our first parlay, and then we'll roll that into Monday, where there are 3 games. And we'll tie that second leg of the parlay to the Queretaro and New England game. And it was looking like New England was heading out of the Leagues Cup on Thursday when they fell behind 2-0 to Atlas, conceding early in the 8th and 11th minutes. And the score stayed that way until Gustavo Bo scored in the 30th and then the 79th minute, putting in his own missed penalty kick to draw level at 2-2. The Reds would go on to win 8-7 in PKs. They did so without head coach Bruce Arena on the sidelines, as he's been placed on administrative leave. In the group stage, New England tied 0-0 to the New York Red Bulls, and they lost in PKs, and they beat San Luis 5-1. The Mexican side, Queretaro, have made it this far despite being not overly impressive, in my opinion. They were brushed aside 5-1 by Philadelphia in their first match, before rebounding for a 1-0 win over Tijuana, which put them second in the group and booked them a spot in the round of 32. From there, they once again won 1-0, this time over Pumas with a late 74th minute Angel Sepulveda goal. However, they held only 35% of the possession, and they were outshot 24-10 and 6-4 in shots on target. Querétaro don't score a lot of goals lately, scoring multiple goals only once in their past 6 games across all competitions, but they have scored at least 1 goal in 5 of those 6 and in each of the past 5. However, in the Leagues Cup, they have been outshot in every game. First, 12-9, 6-4 on target, 16-9, 5-2 in shots on target, and then 24-10, 6-4 in shots on target. Now, they might need multiple goals against New England, who are dominant at Gillette Stadium, which is where this game will be played. The Revs are second in MLS at 12-7-4. They're still undefeated at home at 9-3-0. They've scored 29 and only allowed 10. They've scored in every home game this season, and across all competitions, they are 12-3-1 at Gillette Stadium in their past 16 at home. They've also scored multiple home goals in each of their past 7 and in 10 of the past 12. Overall, across all competitions, New England has lost just twice in their past 13 games. I think New England gets the win here, so we'll go New England to win and Miami to score at minus 117 odds. Also on Monday, we have an all-MLS matchup with Philadelphia and the New York Red Bulls. Now, Philly gets to host this all-MLS matchup, and they are the 3rd place team in the East, facing the 11th place team in the conference, the Red Bulls. Now, this looks like a tight game. They played this season in MLS already. Philly won 1-0 in New York. Philly is actually 7-3-0, undefeated in the past 10 meetings with the Red Bulls. In those 10, under bets have also been on fire. Under 2.5 is 8-2. Under 2.5 is also 7-0 in the past 7 meetings. Now, New York games have been tight in this tournament. They drew 0-0 with New England, and they won in PKs. They beat San Luis 2-1, and they beat their New York rivals, New York City FC, 1-0 in the round of 32. Philly cruised in the group stages, winning 3-1 over Tijuana, 5-1 over Queretaro, but were pushed to PKs with DC after a 0-0 draw that saw them went on to win 5-4 in PKs. That keeps alive an impressive streak of 8 wins straight and 13 undefeated at home at Subaru Park for Philadelphia. Now, across all competitions, the Union have just 1 loss in their past 36 home games, so it's never a good bet to bet against Philly at home. Under 2.5 is priced at -112, and that could be a good bet on its own, or you could go under 3.5 if you want to throw that in as a parlay piece to be extra safe. We also have on Monday Charlotte and Houston. So how did these teams get here? Charlotte drew Dallas 2-2 and won in PKs before beating the Casca 4-1. In the round of 32, they drew 0-0 with Cruz Azul before again winning in PKs. Houston drew Orlando 1-1, lost in PKs before drawing Santos Laguna 2-2 and then winning in PKs. In the round of 32, they drew Pachuca 0-0, and then they won in PKs. So both teams are coming off 0-0 draws. Both have seen a ton of PKs. 5 of 6 combined games between the two have gone to PKs this tournament. And bets on Houston draws have been a perfect 3-0. This game is in Houston, which is good news for the Dynamo, where they are 7-2-2 this season in MLS. And Charlotte is just 3-6 on the road. I don't think I'm going to bet this game, but if I was, I think I would ride with the trends and go for a draw. When we move into Tuesday, there are 4 games, and this may not be the best. These might not be the best 2 teams left standing in the tournament, but if you've watched the Leagues Cup at all, you could probably safely say they've been 2 of the most exciting teams in the tournament. The Loons put down a marker versus Puebla, winning 4-0 despite being down a man for most of the match. They then lost to Chicago 3-2, and in the round of 32, they had a back-and-forth wild affair with Columbus, drawing 3-3 and winning 4-3 in PKs. The teams combined for 38 shots and 12 shots on target. In all competitions, there's been at least 2 or more goals in each of the past 13 Minnesota games. There's been 3 or more goals in each of their past 9 as well. Now, Toluca has been perfect in Leagues Cup, and they've scored 4 goals in all 3 of their games. They beat Nashville 4-3, Colorado 4-1, and then SKC 4-1 in the round of 32. Toluca are 14-3-4 in their past 21, and they have scored in 19 of those 21 games across all competitions. Toluca lead the League Cup in scoring with 12 goals, all coming inside the 18-yard line, and they lead in XG at 10. They also lead in assists in the tournament with 13. Minnesota, meanwhile, they're tied in second in the tournament with 9 goals. They've had 8 inside the 18-yard line and are second in assists with 10. Now, if you look at the players on their team, Bongo Halongwani leads all players in the tournament with 6 goals, while Emmanuel Reynoso leads all players with 4 assists. He's also scored 2 goals himself, and he leads in successful dribbles with 23. The next closest player in the tournament only has 15. I think we see a ton of goals in this game. You could bet it by itself, -150 for both teams to score, or both teams to score in over 2.5, though I don't see those odds out yet at Bet365, which is one of the books that usually post that prop. So in our parlay, we will just go both teams to score at Caesars in the first leg of the parlay, and we'll tie that in to a result with LAFC and RSL. Now, these teams are neck and neck in the West in MLS, with both tied in second with 37 points, just behind St. Louis with 41. LAFC beat RSL 3-0 in Salt Lake already earlier this season. RSL in MLS are 17-7 to over 2.5. LAFC is 13-10. Their past 5 head-to-head score lines between these teams have been 3-0, 2-0, 4-1, 3-2, and 2-1. So usually a lot of goals. In Leagues Cup, RSL beat Seattle 3-0, lost to Monterrey 3-0, and then beat Lyon 3-1. We've only seen LAFC once in the Leagues Cup because as they had a bye in the knockouts, but they made an impression when they spanked Juarez 7-1. Dennis Bouanga had a hat trick, and Carlos Vela scored twice. Though Vela left the game with an injury, and he could be rested here. LAFC entered Leagues Cup cold with only 1 win in 6 games, but RSL are the league's hottest team, with that Monterrey loss being their only defeat across all competitions in their last 13. They also have a new DP signing, Chicho Arango, who's already played a few games and scored a couple goals, and he'll get to line up against his old team, LAFC, in this one, which will be an exciting storyline in this game. Win, draw, or loss for anyone, I do see goals. I do see at least 2 goals, so let's go over 1.5 goals with LAFC and RSL and go both teams to score with Toluca and Minnesota. You can get almost even money, -106 over at Caesars. Next up, it's an all Liga MX matchup, and this is probably one of the matches of the round, and it's Tigres and Monterrey. Neither has lost in the short Apertura season, although it's only been 3 games. Tigres are 1-2-0, they've scored 3 and allowed 2. Monterrey 2-1-0, scoring 5, allowing 1. And neither has lost in the Leagues Cup either. Monterrey won 3-0 over RSL, 4-2 over Seattle, and 1-0 over Portland in the round of 32. Meanwhile, Tigres won 2-1 over Portland, 1-0 over San Jose, and tied 1-1 with Vancouver before winning in PKs in the round of 32. Now, head-to-head, when these two Mexican giants meet, there's always these games are always pretty tight. If you look back at the past 6 in Liga MX, they've all gone under 2.5, including 2 recent games just a couple months ago in May in the Clausura semifinals when they drew 1-1 and then Tigres won 1-0. The past 15 across all competitions, the under 2.5 is an incredible 14-1. Both have only allowed 2 goals in 3 games in the Leagues Cup, so this game, it has to be an under of some sort if you're betting it. And if all that wasn't enough to play on an under bet, Monterrey will be without leading scorer Bertarami. He's the 2nd overall in Leagues Cup in scoring with 5 goals. He also has the most shots with 10 of anyone in the tournament, as he has a fractured ankle, and they'll also be missing defender Eric Aguirre. I think this could be an under all by itself, under 2.5, or an under 3.5 in a parlay, which I think is what I will do here. Go Tigres and Monterrey under 3.5, as well with Philly and New York Red Bulls under 3.5. You can get that at -146. And the final game will be Club America and Nashville in Leagues Cup. Nashville beat Colorado 2-1, and they lost a wild game with Toluca 4-3. In the round of 32, they drew Cincinnati 1-1 in Cincy, and then went on to win 5-4 in PKs. So a win over the current Supporters Shield leading team, whom they've already lost to twice earlier this season, is great, but allowing 4 goals in the game prior to Toluca is concerning. They'll get another Liga MX side here in Club America, and I don't really know what to make of Club America right now in this tournament. They looked amazing, routing St. Louis, an expansion team, 4-0, even though St. Louis has had a great start to MLS. But then they looked awful in losing 4-1 to Columbus, and then they just edged past Chicago 1-0 through just an own goal by Chicago, despite holding Chicago to 0 shots on target. They also lost Richard Sanchez to a red card in the 94th minute, and they're already missing their number 9, Henry Martin. So I think, if anything, this game might be closer than you think. Club America, obviously a great team in North America, but we might see some PKs here once again. So that will wrap up our breakdowns of the round of 16. So to wrap up my Leagues Cup round of 16 picks, I'm going Miami to score, New England to win for 1 parlay at -134, Minnesota versus Toluca, both teams to score, LAFC and RSL over 1.5 in the other parlay at -106, Philly and New York under 3.5, Tigres and Monterrey under 3.5 at -146, but I think either of those could be good bets on their own if that's how you choose to bet. But those will be my 3 bets for the round of 16. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel for more soccer picks all summer long. Good luck in the Leagues Cup this week, everyone.